Hi guys, welcome back to the Cozy Corner. Today I'm going to do a review on my August reads. So the first book I read in August was Lois Laurie's Number the Stars, and it was such a cute story. It's about a 10-year-old little girl in Copenhagen during World War II. Her name is Anna Marie, and she has this Jewish friend called Ellen, and it's just a story of how Anna Marie and her family try and keep Ellen safe as the Germans and the Nazis invade Copenhagen. I won't spoil it, but it's only a little short one. Read it in a couple of days, over a couple of lunch breaks at work. But yeah, it was so cute, and I gave this one a 4.5 stars out of 5. The next book I read was the second book in the Natural series by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, and this one's called Killer Instinct. It's kind of like a murder mystery investigating sort of story, but the investigators are a group of teenagers who have kind of supernatural powers. So they're called naturals because one of them can profile people really easily. One of them is a human lie detector. One of them can recreate a crime scene and then figure out the angles of how crimes occurred. It was really, really good. I rated it 4.5 stars again, and I finished it. I think I finished that one in one sitting. It was so good. And I cannot wait to read the rest of the series. The next book I read was another short one by Judy Blume called Deanie. This one I liked, not as much as the other two that I read before it, but it was a sweet story. I wish the ending was slightly different. I feel the book was about 100 pages too short. I feel we needed a bit of a continuation of Deanie's journey. So I think I gave this one 3.5 or 4 stars. It was still really good, easy read. So Deanie's parents, well, her mum and her grandmother wanted her to be a model, but it turns out that Deanie has scoliosis and she has to wear a back brace for the next 4 years. So between the ages of 13 and 17, she'll have to wear this back brace, and she's really not a fan of the back brace. So it's just her journey of dealing with the changes, not only being a teenage girl, but also having to wear this back brace, and her journey from really hating it to accepting it. As I say, I think my personal opinion is I'd like to continue with Deanie a little bit longer, but it was a good read. Oh, my next book, Frisia Backman, Britt Marie Was Here. This was a 5-star read. I knew it was going to be high, but it was a 5-star read for me. I absolutely adore Frisia Backman's style of writing. It's so easy to read, so fast paced, so gripping. I started out not liking the character Britt Marie, but ended up absolutely loving her. This one I picked out, I think the prompt was a book that you think will make you cry. It didn't make me cry in the same way as My Grandmother Sends Her Regards and Apologies, but it did make me, there was one part that made me very teary. So highly, highly, highly recommend. After this book, I kind of entered a reading slump. So those 4 books I read in the first 2 weeks of August. Then I hit a reading slump, not because I wasn't enjoying what I was reading, just because I knew that the rest of my reads for August were not going to be as good as Britt Marie Is Here. So I probably went about a week without reading, and then I picked up Jim Eldredge, Murder at the Tower of London, and it is about a body of a yeoman who, for those of you who don't know, a yeoman is also known as a beefeater, and they guard the Tower of London, the crown jewels, and basically are in service to the monarch at the time. Anyway, one of these yeomen's body is found stuffed in the armour of Henry VIII in the White Tower. So this wife and husband duo are known as the museum detectives, and they go around London solving murders, and they were called to the Tower of London to help investigate this murder, and it turns out it related to 3 or 4 other murders around the same time in London as well. It was really good. It was quite, even though we were dealing with a murder, it was quite light-hearted in places. The characters were really well written. So I gave this one a 4-star. It did take me a week to read, not because I wasn't enjoying it, I was just, I think, as serious as it sounds, I was still grieving the fact that I'd finished Brooke Maria's Hair and I was never going to read it again for the first time. But as I say, 4 stars, recommend this one, and it is part of a series, but you can also read all the books as standalone, so hopefully I will be able to find a few more books in the series and continue the investigations with this wife-husband duo. But yeah, it's also quite rich with British history as well. And then The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe and Other Creepy Stories. No, Other Tales of Horror. I didn't even get around to opening this. Once I finished Murder at the Tower of London, I had literally 2 days before the end of the month, so I didn't even get to open this, which is fine because it's going to go back on my TBR, and in doing some research, I actually need this book for a reading challenge that I'm going to do that's coming up, so I'm just going to put that back on the shelf, ready to pick out with the reading challenge. And then the Book Lovers Library. I started the Book Lovers Library. I didn't get very far. I enjoyed what I read. So I'm debating whether to roll it over for my September reads or put it back on the TBR, because I've only read like 4 or 5 chapters. I'm going to put it back on the TBR just because I am doing a reading challenge for September as well as my September picks. So I will put this back on the TBR somewhere. There's no room. Sliding there. Yes. So as I said, completed 5 out of 7 books for this month. Not great. I'd hope to finish at least 6.5, if not 7. My goal is to finish all 7, but had a bit of a reading slump, which is fine. But I am very, very excited to start my September reads and hopefully absolutely smash them. So let me know what you guys read in August, what you recommend, what your favourite read was, what your least favourite read was, and I will see you again soon for another video. Bye guys!